Hi, my name is Alana Grelyak, and today we're going to be talking about the 5-finger pattern in major on the piano. So this is one of the most important things that we learn on the piano. It's one of the very first steps for a beginner to learn. It's the very first part of learning our scales and also how to learn to use our fingers properly. So when you look at the keyboard is divided up into half steps. For instance, a white key to the very next black key is a half step. The black key to the very next white key is a half step, and you can also go from a white key to a white key as long as there are no other black keys in the middle is also a half step. By knowing this, we can learn the pattern for the 5-finger pattern, which is going to go across all of the different keys. So as long as you remember this pattern, you will know it for any key in music. So we're going to take a look at the keyboard, and we're going to start with C. So if we start with C, we're going to look up, the pattern is going to be tonic note, and then it's going to be followed by whole, whole, half, whole. So whole step is a combination of 2 half steps, right? So you have your tonic note. So let's say you want to play a C major 5-finger pattern. The tonic note is C. So we're going to start on C, and then we're going to go up a whole step, which takes us up to D, another whole step, which goes up to E, and then we're going to go to a half step, which takes us to F. It's the very next white key, but there are no other black keys in the center. And then after that, we're going to go to G, which is another whole step. So now we have our pattern. We have tonic note, and then whole, whole, half, whole. And that's how we get our pattern. When we want to play it on the piano, we have to use a proper hand position. So in the piano, we use numbers on each of our fingers. So beginning with the thumbs are always 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So pinkies are 5. You want to pretend like you're holding a bubble in your hand, and then you flip it over so that you have a nice rounded hand position. You don't want it to be flat or collapsed, okay? And then you take that bubble, and you put it on the piano, and going just straight across from 1 through 5, we're going to play the 5-finger position, and it's going to sound like this. And then you can also take that and go back down. And then you can learn how to do it in your left hand as well. When you start in your left hand, though, you're going to be starting on the 5th finger. So it's going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you go back down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now that you know the pattern, which is tonic note and then whole, whole, half, whole, you can find it in any major key on the piano. So for instance, you want to do, let's try G major. Your tonic note in G major is G. So you start on G, and then you go whole, whole, half, whole. So G, whole step up is A, another whole step is B, half step to C, and then a whole step to D. So then that's your 5-finger pattern. And then the other different one would be a black key note. So let's say we would start on E flat. The key of E flat starts on the tonic of E flat, which is a black key. So you're going to take your thumb and you're going to put it up on the black keys, and we're going to go E flat, F, G, A flat, and B flat. And that's the 5-finger position in E flat. And you can see that they all have pretty much the same sound because we're following the same pattern of half steps and whole steps. So as long as you keep that pattern the same and you know what tonic you're starting on, you can play any 5-finger position on the piano in a major key.